Let's make some inserts for our journals. Please join me for today's fun. Hi everyone, welcome to Hilltop View Journals. Today I thought I'd show you what I've been busy making this week for RachandBella Crafts 100 Days of Junk Journaling Ideas. So we're doing notebooks and inserts all of this week. And I'm not actually taking part in the collaboration this week, but I am following along and making my own inserts and notebooks. So these are Rachel's new kits. So obviously I had to play as soon as I got my hands on the kit. So we'll be going through how I made this today, or made those two today. But I wanted to show you as well what I've been making with the Billet Doux kit, because I'm very much in the throes of using that kit and finishing all my journals. So I just grabbed some tags there just to show that there is a pocket there. So yeah, I'm very much haven't decorated a lot of things, and I'm just making things as I go along. So I'll show you these first and then we'll dive straight into what we're going to make today. So this is how I make my journal inserts, and I use these all the time because I'm writing in my journals. I like to use these. Sometimes I actually make whole journals just out of these inserts, so I'll just go and grab one. So this was using one of Rachel's kits. It was her mixed media kit. Oh, and I had so much fun playing with this. So this is a soft cover spine, and I've just used chipboard on here, and it's a very scrappy journal, so it's very mixed media themed. But these are the little notebooks. So at some point I'm going to be writing in these, and I just love making them. So I make them plain so that I can do as much writing as possible. I'll stick photos and mementos and all manner of things in there. So that's how I usually make my journals for my own personal journaling. So with this one, I've just got a lovely little pocket on the front there, and I've just sort of done a two-tone of the Billet Doux kit there. And then inside, no decorating at the moment. I've just been using scraps then just to make the pages look a little bit more pretty. Sometimes I will stitch down there, so I've done a little bit of collage there. There was probably a mark or something that I needed to cover. And yeah, so that's that one. Then this one's, I've got a belly band on the front and a belly band on the back. So if you can imagine, these would be sewn into your journals so that they're decorated on the fronts rather than on the insides most of the time. So then I can then journal on this. So this one I've done sort of two-tone here. Again, I've been using my scraps, just sticking things down and just maximising the writing space really. And sometimes I put tags in these little notebooks, but most of the time I like to keep them flat and easy to write on. If I do a lot of embellishing, then I will make a writing board for that. This is another one. So again, I've just got a belly band on the back there, and oh, my little dog there is having a sniff, my spaniel. And then just got a couple of cards there that I can journal on. And again, I've just been using scraps to decorate the pages to give them a little bit of interest. So very much same kind of format, but they look very different. Then this one I've used a scrappy strip, done a little embellishing. I've made it into a tag shape. I do need to put something on there so you can see it's a tag. All right, darling. Okay. And then inside, again, I've gone and used the kits. Let's go and see what my little darling wants. So, and I've done some strips here. Lots of glue, actually. Unfortunately, that's sort of come off there. So, probably need to glue that in place. Bear with me while I just do a little bit of repair work there. And again, just really pretty pages. Oop. Need to do a bit of gluing here, and I'll probably stitch around some of these pages as well before I put them into a journal. And sometimes I use the sewing machine, and sometimes I'll just do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and when I actually put these into a journal, if I'm stitching them in, I'll just take this loose and redo it, or these will go in as a standalone item. So again, they're just a little bit more decorating on this one. And let me just show you then how I would use these in a journal. So I've got a couple of journals here I'm in the process of making. So I've got some nice big pockets here. So I would just slip that in there carefully, and then that would be part of the journal there. And again, I would pop another one in there. In this journal, I can also add them in as a stitched signature. So this one I've just already used a sewing machine, so I could then do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch and stitch that into the journal. So that would then give me some writing space in there. So that's that idea. And similarly then in this journal, I want to make them so that they go in the pockets that I've got here. So maybe some of the ones that aren't so embellished, I think actually I've made smaller ones to go in here. So yeah, I have. So these are the smaller ones. So those ones will go in there like that. It's a bit tight, but they will go in there. So I won't be able to do too much embellishing. They'll just purely be writing space, and I maybe be able to do something on the top there. So, and they can also just pop in, you know, where I've got like that there, I could then put a paper clip or something on there and it'll fit in there, and I've got extra space. So that's how I use my little notebooks, and I love making these. They're just such great fun. So today we're going to make these. So let's get straight to it and dive into having some crafty fun. So I like to keep my little notebook inserts very simple because I go through quite a lot of them during the month, and I usually change my journal once a month. So it's got to be something pretty quick and easy to make. So start off with tea dyed or coffee dyed paper, and then I've got the signature or the notebook cover. So I'm going to use this beautiful print. I absolutely adore this. And I'm going to choose 5 pages of, no, actually I think I'll choose 3 pages. 3 pages of tea dye paper, and then I want to choose some paper from the kit that I can write on. So let's slot in these pages in between. And I'm not normally too fussy about the size. I know it's going to be a traveller's notebook size, and I tend to go with something a bit like this size. So it's quite small inside. So maybe if let's have a look. Let's get my typical journal signature size. Just round about this one. And what I want to do is just fold it. So on this one, I'm not going to have any folded pages or anything like that. It's just going to be for writing. Although you can obviously use folded pages for extra journaling space. You know, you could fold that in and then have extra journal space. But just for the sake of this video, I think I'm just going to do it pretty straightforward. And I need my ruler. I'm just going to cut this down. You could rip, you could do it any way you like really. I'm just going to keep it fairly simple. Okay, so that's my notebook signature. Very straightforward and pretty. Got some pink in there as well, which is lovely. Okay, so what I want to do with this one is make sure that it's big enough to cover the journal signature or notebook. It's going to be interchangeable. I'm used to calling them signatures, but it is a notebook at the end of the day. And right, so I don't want to go all the way. So that's okay. That works really well actually. So I'm going to fold that down. And then I am going to want to cut it here and here. So the easiest way to do that is to use something round and draw it. A bit difficult to see actually, but let's try and do it this way. Okay, I'm going to snip that.
I won't get close to your heartache if you won't open your door. I'm feeling kinda lost when your mind is hiding whatever that is choking your chest.
Okay, and I think what I want to do is add strip there.
Maybe you'll make up your mind now I'm here by your side.
I'll probably put something around there as well, I think. Or even actually, yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to make it smaller.
Let it all out of me. You won't get closer to me if you won't open your door. If that's what you want, then baby try to believe me when I say that you can tell me anything. I can see it in your eyes that you're shaking 'cause you're holding it back. Maybe you'll make up your mind now I'm here by your side.
So I think I'm going to go with some brads. I think that would be the quickest option. I'm not going to worry too much about those little pieces at the moment because I'll be decorating this in a bit, so we'll sort that out. So that's what we've got so far, and let's get some of this, and I am just going to slip it under there and tie it. I'm going to cut that piece off so you can't see it. That's pretty secure, and then just do enough to go around here. So we've got the closure, which is usually the first thing I forget. It's the first thing I've done today. Right. Let's put these things away a minute. Right, I'm going to think about how I want to decorate this. So we've got that there, so it'd be great to be able to cover that. So I think quite a nice, maybe deep pocket there would be lovely. And I think I will use music paper for that. And then I can decorate it afterwards. So I just want to go, can't quite see where it's folded here. So I'll do it on the front, I think, it'd be easier. So if I pop this, rip that like that, and let's just go like that there. I actually want to put just a little bit of a fold in it, so it needs to go as high as there, which is fine. Didn't quite rip it straight, not to worry, it'll be all right by the time I stitch it. So I'm going to glue this down. And I'll pop one of these. No, actually I'll use a bit of brown tape, I think. Okay, that's covering that. Let's squish it down. So I'm going to decorate this at a different point in time. But for now, I am just going to secure this there, because when I stitch all around, I won't need the glue there. So I'm just going to glue one side. So if you're not stitching, you'll need to glue 3 sides. So that should hold it in place nice. Might use a little bit of faux tape there. Let me go here. So your signature is going to sit in there like that. It's not gluing very well. Okay, so we need to think about doing something here. Let's have a look. So if I got that like that and that like that. I don't see the point in actually putting a pocket on here because there's not really that much room. But what I could do is put a belly band across there and then have a bookmark. So let's cover this up. So the belly band will go that way. So I'm going to use a piece of fabric. And I'm going to stick that to a piece of scrap paper just to give it a little bit of stability. So what I'll do is I'll stitch there, and stitch there, and then I'll attach it. So it's quite a, it's almost sort of going into the background there, isn't it? So maybe I need something a little bit darker as well. Let's have a look. I love that colour. Around the corners, I think. Okay. That will go there like that. Actually, it's a bit too big now, isn't it? Forgot about that. Nincompoop. How am I going to do that now? It's going to go that way. Again, I need to decorate it, but that resolves that little issue quickly. And I'm not going to put anything in the back because that's what I'm going to be writing against, so I'd rather leave that free. So I'm just going to go and stitch all this now. I'm going to glue this in place. And now all I need to do is stitch this in. So just give this a bit of a distress first. And I'm going to use my trusty template and pop a couple of holes in.
Let it all out of me. Oh, I will hold you in the dark, make you forget about what's wrong. Let it all out of me. You knew how much I wished it was different. There's a fire we should put out, but all I know is how to fall back into you. Oh, I wanna see you. Now I'm ready to be hurt again. I'll end up in your
notebook that is desperate for some embellishing, but we'll do that at a later date. So I just wanted to show you just one nice way of making a notebook cover. I want to make another wraparound one, but slightly different to that one. So it's good to have a contrasting page. So Rachel's got this lovely page in her new kit. So I'm going to use this one. And I want the wrap to come over from the left to the right. So it'll go like this. And for this to work, you need to make it before you do your signature pages inside it. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it where I want to fold. So I think that's a good place to fold. So you can get quite a nice sized notebook in there. And then you just want to fold this over but not go right to the edge there. So I think that looks okay like that. And what I want to do is I want to kind of bring it into a triangle as much as I've got. Now, you can't go past this point here. So I will only be able to do it like that. So I'm just folding it to the line, to the crease there. I haven't quite got it right, so let's just... I've folded that a little bit too much. So you get a nice envelope shape. And I've made these before, but the only problem I've got now, you see, is that there's a gap there. So I'm gonna have to bring this over a little bit more again. And I always end up having to cover this bit because I never quite get you know, the fold right. It is a bit fiddly. So I've obviously got that crease where I don't want it, but that's fine because we can cover that. And then, so I'm going to leave that like that. You could have it going all the way to the edge, but I think it's quite nice just to have that little line there and there like that. So that's how I want it to work. And I'm going to cut these off because I don't want to see them because they don't really go with the inside. So I'm just going to cut these off. Oops, gone a little bit over there, which means I'll need to do a little bit over there as well, just to match. Let's see how that looks. Keep these pieces because you can make pockets. So what you can do now is you can come in a bit more. So what we could do is make more of a point, or we could just leave it like that. I quite like that, looks quite nice, that size. I was hoping to be able to put like a little tab on it. I think that still works. I thought maybe it needed to be a bit more going there and going there, but I think it would work okay like that actually. So I need to ink. Just ink the edges for a minute. So this is the UK weight 140 GSM. So if you think that 80 is our standard printer paper, so 140 is quite heavy, so it's quite robust, but you still will have some weak areas. So you're going to be stitching your signature in there, and I don't want my signatures to have a lot of pages in. If you wanted a lot of pages, what you would need to do is you would need to create a small spine there, and the way you would do that is you would do a double fold, pretty much like this. So this could be this little happy accident here, could be a double fold, which would then create a little spine. So that could work actually, and I'll show you an idea as we go ahead and make this. So I'm going to now do the signature pages. So I've got 2 of the kit pages here, and so I've got 5 pages. And I can't go any bigger than this. It's got to be smaller than this. So let's just give these a fold. And have a look at where we are at. So that's plenty of room there. So I'm not going to go any bigger than that. And there's lots of uses for these bits that you're cutting off as well. So they're really important to keep as well, of course. So what you could do, which I wasn't planning on doing, but what you could do is you could put your signature there, like that. And I just realised that's upside down. So you could put your signature like that, and then you'd have this to possibly do a second signature even. But I'm going to I did want it that way. Kind of is a bit awkward with the pattern then, isn't it? So I want my signature to be bound there, like that. I might actually leave that like that. That's working out quite well. So let's ink it up so you can see it better. So that was a happy accident. Not the best tutorial, but so I did, yeah, this is the way I wanted to go, isn't it? I wanted it to be opposite to the one I made. So the one I've made, oh, I think that's gone that way as well. Yeah, that's gone that way. Okay, well, it does look better like that actually, because then I can make the most of that beautiful image. So let's go with that. But I did want it the other way around. What I should have done is have that as the main image and cut this. Anyways, this is where we're at. So we need to have a think about what we want to put in this as well. I don't want to stuff it too much with lots of ephemera and things, because it is just a notebook. It's like a mini journal. So I don't want to put anything there apart from ink it a little bit. So the only places you really can add some ephemera is here, but be mindful that when you're writing it could interfere with the writing, and then you could put something on the back, but you've got the same issue there again. So I think just some simple pockets in here would be really nice. And let's see what scraps I've got here now. So I don't want anything too contrasting. That seems to go quite well. So I think what I'll do is maybe do a corner one there. So if I just, I'm gonna have to ink that as well so I can see it. It's a little bit better. So I'm just going to fold it, and then I'm just going to, so I'm going to fold it to the line, but then I'm going to cut the fold so it will be slightly smaller, which is what I want, because you don't want it to interfere with the fold. Could probably go a little bit smaller. Let's see what this one looks like. I think actually I'll use that, because what I want to do is just create a pocket like that. I'm going to take that off because it's quite thick, and I'm not going to glue it in place because I want to stitch around it before I glue it. So I want to stitch there, and there, and then the other stitching then will be done as I stitch around the sort of faux envelope, should we call it, envelope cover. So I have made these before, but I think it always looks different when you use the kit, a different kit. So that's lovely. So that's going to go there like that. So I can maybe have a nice tag there, and then here, that would make a really nice belly band, I think. So let's do a belly band, and doesn't need to be too wide. So I'm still very much in the Billet Doux kit. So all my ephemera at the moment is Billet Doux suitable. Whilst I have to say this kit does work really well with the first month's kit, the French kit. I've been predominantly pink, so I do need to make a little bit more sort of green and neutral ephemera, so that might work quite well. So I've just dug out everything I've got, just that might be suitable. The only thing is that's just a bit bulky really, so maybe not so. That's going, yeah, all my flowers are going to be a pain. I've got that. That would work okay. So I could glue that in place. So I'm going to stitch that as well. And I need to ink these. Okay, so there's my 2 pieces. I've got that spare. Let's put this background that way like that. And to save a little bit of time, I am going to stitch this in place rather than do the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So it can go a little bit wrong sometimes. The sewing machine's a bit stroppy, but what you do need to do is have something to protect the paper there. So what do I want? A little bit of fabric, I think. That. So this will protect your paper from ripping if you're using a sewing machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue either side lightly with a glue stick, and I'll be stitching down the middle. So I'll just hold that in place for a minute. And what I'm going to do while I'm here is just a little bit of decorating, I think. So what you can do is with the bits that have come off, you can coordinate them with the other side. So you can do some faux washi. So let's put some glue on here. I don't think it really matters on the orientation. I do find putting things like this on before you stitch everything in place a bit easier, because you can move the pages around and cut them and things. So let's do this one as well. And then we could do exactly the same then with that side. So I need 2 more pieces.
I see it in your eyes that you are ready to be hurt again, like nothing ever crashed. This is the best it ever gets. I see it in your eyes that we will get hurt again. We will get hurt again.
So you could obviously add a little bit more here as well.
I said put us on hold. Let's stop for a minute. I'm done running. I've always known that if we stop running, that will be done. I wish you knew how much I wished it was different. There's a fire we should put out, but all I know is how to fall back into you. Oh, I wanna see ya now.
So again, I'll just do a little stitch going all the way down the edge of the paper. Now I won't be adding anything to the page edges in this little notebook because there's no room really in the envelope. So it's restrictive, but that's probably a good thing, I think. Stops me faffing. So that's some really simple embellishing. I could add some more embellishing that doesn't stick out, but I want to see how this closes before I do that. Right, so I'll whiz off to my sewing machine and see how I get on. I did eventually get it through the sewing machine, but well, we've got some very odd stitching going on, but I guess it just adds to the rustic nature of this little notebook. I should be grateful that she sees fit her indoors in the corner there to help me with my theme or style. Right. I didn't quite stitch it straight. So that little mistake there is working out quite well actually. And so that is, oh, hang on. Yeah, I decided to do it this way around, didn't I? I was thinking, oh, I've got the pocket upside down. So yeah, you can see we had a little bit of a temper tantrum there. I think I would like to do something on the front page, something pretty. But I think, well, I don't know. What have I got here? See these little tabs? I don't know how they're going to look if they're not sticking out, because that's all I've got on me at the minute. Can sort of... No, it's quite bulky. I'm going to have to do something like a scrappy strip, I think. And I tell you what I did actually forget to do before I stitched it all in. I forgot to stitch these down. Oh dear. Not to worry. So I could do something like this. And a little bit of yellow maybe. A little small bit of yellow maybe. So just kind of put that like that. Most of my flowers have got sort of diamante things in them, so but that I think that would work really well. It's got some very messy stitching, and I did then do the stitching on the pages that I had planned to do. Much easier to do it before you bind your journal. I can vouch for that. I probably need to do something by there as well at some point, but for now that's okay like that. And yeah, what I'll probably do there is just a little bit of a collage. Oh, shall I do it now? Shall I just do it and just, yeah, let's just get it done so I don't have to go back and think about it, because no doubt I'll forget, and then I'll be taking photographs and think, oh, I don't like that, I can't have that on Instagram. So I'd love to know what you think of the new kit that Rachel has brought out. I am absolutely delighted. It is right up my street. Vintage botanical and French. Just can't get better, really. Yeah, just something simple there will do. Okay, so the only thing I've got left to do now is to put in my little belly band. And I can't remember where I was going to put on my belly band now. What was I going to put on there? I don't think it was one of the flowers. Was I going to put that on there maybe? I've got that. It's quite big though. Could have put that down the page. Must be this one. Haven't even printed the ephemera out of the kit yet, so I've got quite a bit of work to do over the next few days. Okay, it's nicely in place there. So all we need to do now is the closure. And I would really like to go with one of these scrappy little tabs, I should say. So I think that would look really nice. But I need to be able to put an eyelet in there. So let's give that a go. Okay, we'll chance it.
Ready to be hurt again. I'll end up in your life. To your chest, I see it in your eyes. It's you are ready to be hurt again, like nothing ever crashed. This is the best it ever gets.
Not quite in the centre, everybody, but it's on there. Okay, let's pop this in place. Let's have a little bit of twine. That's probably way too much. So I think this could really do with a little bit more embellishing. But I definitely need some beads on there. So I shall go and grab some of those. So I've got my little dangles there. And this is how it's looking. So it's just a neat little notebook. Easily fit into a pocket, and just need to have some nice tags in there, and similarly there as well. Do a little bit more embellishing. I might do some more collage, but yeah, this is a nice lovely blank canvas and perfect for writing in. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. So that's that one. And then we've got the other one as well, and that probably could do with some dangles on it as well, so I will go ahead and put those on. But there's two ideas for little notebooks.
I see it in your eyes that we will get hurt again, that we will get hurt again.
So just added a little bit of glue on the end there because the holes are really small. And I don't know why I'm doing 4 beads. Should be 3 or 5, but hey, you know, who says we've got to conform? So there's the beads there. I think that looks really pretty. And I think I may just go and add this on the top there because it won't get in the way. And it needs to be used. It's been in my stash for a very long time. So it came with one of my Etsy purchases with a lovely little thank you note. So I've just used what was on there and then just added a few little bits then to prettify it. Would have been better if I put it on straight, but you know, we can't have everything in life, can we? So there's 2 little notebooks. So we're on week 6 of the collaboration with RachandBella Crafts, 100 days of junk journaling ideas. So today is Sunday, which means you've got the absolutely wonderful Corrie Damon showing you how she uses notebooks and inserts. So I really do hope you enjoy her tutorial. I'll add the schedule on one of my photos now at the end so that you've got a reminder of who's coming up this week on week 6. And I'll be back on as soon as I can, making some more journal inserts and notebooks and doing some crafting along with you, hopefully. So please do join me for my next video, and before then I'll see you again. Bye bye for now.
I never thought in the wildest dream I'd see you again. Never dreamed about nothing else other than you. I always thought I'd be waiting in vain, but suddenly there you were. Never thought it'd be easy to feel you in my arms, but now we're here and I'm all in, and I wonder about you, 'cause I can stay till the morning, stay till the dawn, but just hold me now. I wanna be so much better whenever you're around. I wanna say something